8 days. Tick-tock, tock. Do you hear that? It's the sound of the world holding its breath. For so long, I've been a good boy. I've stayed in the shadows, kept my jokes to myself, played by their rules. But the clock is a funny thing, isn't it? It's just a circle, dragging us back to the start of the punchline. They think the quiet means I've gone away. They think the silence is peace. Oh, they're in for a surprise. The silence isn't peace, Batsy. It's the fuse. And in 8 days, the fuse hits the powder. Let's talk about why the world is about to get a whole lot louder. You see, the silence is a very misunderstood thing. Most people think it's just the absence of noise, a void, a big fat nothing. But they're wrong, dead wrong. Silence isn't empty, it's heavy. It has a weight to it that sits on your chest like an elephant in a tuxedo. When you stop talking, really stop, the world doesn't just go quiet. It gets loud in all the wrong ways. The ticking of a clock starts to sound like a sledgehammer hitting an anvil. Your own heartbeat becomes a drumline you can't escape. And that's the beauty of it. That's the delicious, cruel irony of these last few days. I've been sitting here, watching the seconds crawl by, and I can feel the city out there squirming. They're like children in a dark room, aren't they? At first, they enjoy the peace, they think. Oh, finally, that clown has shut his mouth. Maybe we can go back to our boring, miserable lives. But then, the first hour passes. Then the first day. Then the fourth. And suddenly, the peace starts to feel a lot more like a threat. When you stop talking, people start thinking. And that's the most dangerous thing you can let a human being do. Without me there to distract them with a colorful explosion or a well-timed gag, they're forced to look at the shadows. They start wondering what's brewing behind the curtain. They look at the locked doors and the darkened windows, and they start filling in the blanks with their own deepest, darkest fears. I haven't had to lift a finger to scare them. Their own imaginations are doing all the heavy lifting for me. It's a psychological masterpiece, really. I've been letting the tension build, layer by layer, like coats of lacquer on a coffin. Every day of silence is another pound of pressure. I'm inflating a balloon right in front of their faces, blowing into it slower and slower until the rubber is so thin you can see through it. The air in this city feels like it's made of glass now, sharp, brittle. These civilized people, and ready to shatter if someone even breathes too hard. Everyone is waiting for that first crack. They're leaning in, eyes wide, ears ringing from the lack of sound, just begging for a noise, any noise, to break the spell. But I'm not giving it to them. Not yet. By staying quiet, I've managed to do something truly magical. I've made my eventual return the only thing anyone can think about. I'm the lead story on the news without saying a word. I'm the whisper in the grocery store aisle. These civilized people, I'm the reason the police commissioner is checking under his bed twice before he goes to sleep. I have become the ultimate what if. And that, my friends, is power. It's not just a comeback. I'm preparing. It's a release valve for a city that's about to burst. When I finally open my mouth in 8 days, it won't just be a joke. It'll be the sound of 1,000 screams, finally finding an exit, I've built a cathedral of suspense. And the best part is, the people of this city are the ones who provided the bricks. People, they're so desperate for the silence to end that they'll welcome the chaos just to hear something other than their own terrified thoughts. Isn't that just the funniest thing you've ever heard? The death of the status quo. Such a fancy, dignified way of saying the end of the world as you know it, isn't it? In 8 days, people, the little dollhouse you call a society is going to catch fire. And the most hilarious part is that you're the ones who left the stove on. While I've been sitting here in my lovely, quiet sanctuary, I've had nothing but time to watch you. I've watched you scurry about your lives, clinging to your schedules, your coffee orders, and your precious little plans. You've become so comfortable, so predictable, so boring. You believe that because things were normal yesterday, they'll be normal tomorrow. It's a collective delusion, a security blanket made of tissue paper. But look closely. Can't you see the threads starting to fray? While I've been silent, I've been observing the cracks in your little civilization, and let me tell you, they are deep enough to swallow a bus. You've become bored with your safety, and boredom is the ultimate fertilizer for a revolution. You think the status quo is a solid foundation, but it's really just a thin layer of ice over a very deep, very cold lake. And here I am, the only one brave enough to start jumping up and down. 8 days from now, that ice doesn't just melt, it evaporates. The normal you've all been clinging to goes into the incinerator, and I'm the one holding the match. It's a mercy, really. Who wants to live in a world where every day is a carbon copy of the last? Where you wake up, go to a job you hate, smile at people you can't stand, and go to sleep thinking you've actually accomplished something. It's a farce, a comedy. But don't worry, the closing night of that play is just around the corner. My silence has been the calm before the storm, a storm that isn't just coming to rain on your parade, but to wash away the parade entirely. These civilized people. I've been watching the police pretend they have control, watching the politicians pretend they have answers, and watching the heroes pretend they have a purpose. But when the silence ends, the pretense ends with it. When I speak again, the old rules won't just be broken, they'll be completely forgotten. They'll be irrelevant. You can't cite the law to a hurricane. You can't appeal to the morality of a forest fire. We are moving from the age of order, where everything has its place and everyone has their role, into the age of me. It's going to be a brave new world, full of color and noise and spontaneity. You won't have to worry about your credit score or your reputation or your five-year plan anymore, because none of it will exist. The status quo is a cage, and I'm just the guy coming by with the bolt cutters. You've lived your lives by a script written by people who don't even like you. Wouldn't you rather see what happens when we throw the script away and start improvising? The transition might be a little messy. There might be some broken glass, a bit of smoke, maybe a scream or two. But that's just the sound of progress. That's the sound of the old world dying to make room for the punchline. So, enjoy these last few days of normalcy. Cherish your routines. Hug your expectations. Because in 8 days, the only status quo left will be the one I write in the ashes. Why 8 days? Why not 7? Or right now? This very second? Because the waiting. Oh, people, the waiting is the sweetest part of the whole rotten game. It's the gift of anticipation. These civilized people, and I'm wrapping it up in a big, bloody bow just for you. You see, most people are so impatient. They want their gratification instantly, like a cheap burger or a quick fix bowl. But they don't understand the craft. They don't understand that the real thrill isn't the explosion itself. It's that agonizing, delicious heartbeat right before the spark hits the powder. People, it's like the climb on a roller coaster. You're strapped in, you can't get out, and you hear that steady, mechanical click, click, click as you're hauled up toward the sky. Your stomach is doing somersaults. Your palms are sweating, and you're looking at the drop thinking, this is it. This is where it all ends. That moment of pure, unadulterated dread, that's when you're most alive. Well, if I just showed up today, unannounced and screaming, it would be a surprise, sure. A jump scare, a cheap thrill that's over in a flash, but making you wait, giving you a deadline. That's art. I'm giving you 8 whole days to sit in your own filth and imagine the worst possible thing I could do. And the funniest part is, whatever you're imagining, I'm probably planning something even better. I'm living rent-free in your head, redecorating the place with nightmares. By the time the clock hits 0, these civilized people, your nerves will be so fried that you'll be begging for me to do something, anything, just to make the anticipation stop. You're like an audience at a magic show, watching the magician's hand, waiting for the rabbit, but I've already replaced the rabbit with a grenade, and I'm just letting you enjoy the suspense of the reveal. And let's be honest, deep down, people, way down in that dark little corner of your soul, you try to hide from the neighbors. You've missed me. You're starving for a little bit of theatricality, aren't you? You're tired of the gray, the mundane, the endless cycle of safe news. You want the drama. You want the spectacle. You want to see the giant neon sign flicker to life. I'm giving you 8 days to realize just how much you need a villain like me to make your heroic lives feel meaningful. Without the threat, there's no thrill. Without the shadow, you don't even notice the light. So, I'm letting the hunger grow. I'm letting the craving for the ending become unbearable. By the time I break the silence, you won't just be watching, you'll be part of the performance. The wait is the seasoning that makes the main course taste so much sharper. When the silence finally ends, the masks come off, and I don't just mean mine. You see, silence is a vacuum, and nature, especially human nature, abhors a vacuum. It demands to be filled. For these 8 days, I've stopped providing the script. And do you know what happens when people don't have a script? They start to improvise. My return isn't just a homecoming, it's a mirror, a giant, jagged piece of silvered glass I'm holding up to the face of this entire city. I want to see how much you've rotted while I was gone. I want to see who you really are when the lights are low and the boogeyman isn't jumping out of the closet just yet. This silence is an interrogation. I'm not asking the questions the clock is. It's asking the good citizens of this town what they're willing to do to keep their secrets. It's asking the police how thin their blue line gets when there's no one to punch. You've had over a week of quiet, plenty of time to sit with your own thoughts, your own greeds, and your own tiny, pathetic hypocrisies. I'm fascinated to see who stayed loyal to the law out of conviction and who only did it out of fear. Without me there to play the villain, have you found new ones among yourselves? Have you started looking at your neighbors with a little more suspicion? Have you started looking at the shadows with a bit of a twinkle in your eye, wondering if maybe, just maybe, life would be easier if you just let go of the steering wheel? The end of the silence isn't just about my voice. It's about forcing the rest of you to finally say what you're really thinking. For years, you've hidden behind your manners, your titles, and your social graces. You've practiced your polite dinner conversations and your thoughts and prayers. But 8 days of looming dread has a way of stripping all that paint right off the wood. By day 8, people, that the civilized man is going to be looking at his civilized friend and wondering which one of them is going to break first. The revelation of truth is a beautiful thing. It's raw, it's ugly, and it's honest. I'm giving you the chance to see yourselves without the filters. No more pretending you're all saints. No more pretending that the only thing wrong with the world is a man in a purple suit. When the silence shatters, I'm going to hear the truth in your screams, see the truth in your eyes, and feel the truth in the way you scramble over each other to get to the exits. It's going to be a grand unveiling of the human heart, and let me tell you, I've seen the blueprints. It's a dark, messy place. I can't wait to turn the lights on. And finally, we reach the punchline. Every good joke needs a setup, doesn't it? A long, winding road of words that leads the listener exactly where they think they want to go, right up until the rug is pulled out from under their feet. This 8-day silence, it's the longest setup in the history of comedy. I've been holding the microphone, standing perfectly still, watching the audience lean in closer and closer until their noses are touching the screen. And the beauty of a punchline isn't just that it's funny, it's that it's inevitable. Once you hear it, you realize everything that came before it was just a countdown to that one perfect, devastating moment of clarity. But my punchline, oh, it's a killer. On the 8th day, the silence won't just break. It will shatter into a billion jagged little pieces that you'll never be able to glue back together. You think you know what loud is? You think you've heard noise? You haven't heard a thing. I'm bringing a symphony of beautiful people, chaotic noise that will echo in your ears for the rest of your miserable lives. It's not just an explosion or a shout. It's a harmony of sirens, laughter, breaking glass, and the sound of 1,000 plans going up in smoke. It's the sound of a city finally waking up from a long, boring dream and realizing that the nightmare is much more fun. The final punchline is the moment where the joke stops being something I tell and starts being something you are. Civilized people, in 8 days, you'll realize the joke wasn't about what I was going to do. The joke was that you thought you could stop it. The joke was that you thought the silence meant you were safe. I want to see the looks on your faces when the clock hits 0 and you realize that the peace you enjoyed for these 8 days was just the deep breath the world takes before it screams. It's going to be glorious. It's going to be poetic. It's going to be the kind of punchline that leaves the whole room breathless. Literally. So, mark your calendars in red. Wear your best suit, maybe a little flower in the lapel. Just mind the water. And please, for my sake, try to find your sense of humor. You're going to need it to survive the ending, because when the silence ends, the only thing left to do is laugh. 8 days, my friends. And then, boom, the punchline hits, and trust me, you're going to die laughing.